Hi, everybody. John Handel, the Activities and Athletics Director here at Elkhorn Area High School. This is the Winter Sports Meeting virtual, and my goal is to get you as much information as possible in 10 minutes or less. Elkhorn, obviously committed to developing leaders, and this is our mission statement, and it's what we believe in. And this goes hand in hand with that. Our goal is to be a top 10 program in all that we do, and this is obviously part of a school-wide goal as well. Fall successes, and obviously a lot more successes than just mentioned on here, but state qualifier in girls tennis, sectional qualifier in girls golf, 5 years in a row of Southern Lakes champions in golf. We also won as an athletic department, the WA Award of Excellence this past year, which is awesome. And then our videotaping and live streaming of events continues to be free and a big part of what we do. Heavy emphasis on being nice to officials. The WA is down about 20% of the officials, and hopefully we don't ever have to cancel an event because we can't find officials, but I've heard of other places where that's happening. Second of all, heavy emphasis from anybody. Treat our equipment with respect. Pick up after yourselves. If there's garbage as you're walking in and out of athletic events this year, please pick it up for us. We want to be first class in all that we do, and that is showing other people the great facilities that we have and that we value those facilities. Coaches meetings over the past summer focused on these things. Relationships, they trump everything. They're the culture of your program and the lifeblood of your program. Also, a heavy emphasis on lifting both in and out of the season. Your coaches should be mentioning a little bit about that tonight. You may have noticed a presence on Twitter and Instagram and also on Facebook for the Elkhorn Athletics program, and we're trying to promote as much as we can in growing programs via social media. And then lastly, we very much value and want 3-sport athletes here at Elkhorn, and we'll always push kids towards that. Once again, sportsmanship, and this kind of fits that last one, and just being nice to everybody, but it's an expectation. Our coaches should be modeling it. Those expectations should be communicated, and people should be held accountable for doing it. We want to be a destination place. As far as communication with coaches, the coaches all should be going through that tonight, but a couple things I want to mention is just chain of command. Everything should start with player to coach. It starts with that coach of that individual sport. And if you, as much as you can, adhering to the 24-hour rule, which is basically just leave the coach alone for 24 hours after the contest and then start that conversation, is always helpful and appreciated and usually helps. The Booster Club, great big shout out to them. Great way to give back to our athletes is to be a volunteer in the concession stand. You will be asked over the course of the season by some of your coaches to provide volunteer hours. So elkhornboosterclubs.com, and once again, thanks for all the great things that they do. I can't say enough good things about the Booster Club here in Elkhorn. Great way to give back. The code of conduct is one thing that oftentimes comes up and usually isn't an issue until it's an issue. But first of all, attendance. Communication really is the key. You have to be in class every hour of the day to participate that night. There are some exceptions. All those exceptions have to be okayed by the athletic department, which would be Lori Aller or myself. And once again, communication is big. If your kid's going to be absent, call the attendance office. Grades. We use term grades, which are 6-week grades, not 9-week grades. You can't have more than one F. A second F would make you ineligible. If your grade point average is worse than 1.7, you're ineligible to participate in games for 15 school days. If you have more than one F, you're ineligible to participate in games for 15 school days. The WIAA mandates those school days for non-competition. You can practice during those first 15 days. If eligibility is not achieved after 15 days, then you're out of practice and competition on those 16 days. So once again, no games, but practice the first 15 days, no practice or games from the 16th day on. Code violations, and obviously vaping and possession of e-cigs continues to be a growing concern of the athletic department here. A first code violation is 10%. If you have an alcohol, tobacco, or drug violation, those are reported to the school social worker, who will work with families to design programs to help benefit the students. I think it's one of the coolest things that we have as part of our policy. We'll try to help your student get some help. Students must cooperate and follow those recommendations to get that eligibility back with that social worker. Couple other things, just be careful what you post on social media. That stuff has a way of coming back and biting people. And then being present at gatherings where alcohol and drugs are present can also be a co-curricular violation. Shout out to Lindsay and all the great things that she does. These are just her training hours. If this was the non-virtual, she would have a chance to come up and speak right here. But thanks for all she does. Before the first practice, here's what needs to get done. Online registration has to be complete. That's all grade levels. Current physical has to be on file, or the physical extension form on file. Current physical, freshmen and juniors. The physical extension form is for sophomores and seniors. If you have any questions about that, be sure to reach out. The $45 activity pass has to be paid for as well. Many of you have done that through your fall sport. Here are the dates of the first practices, and we're anxious to get started. And then lastly, if you have any questions, there's my email address. And then there's also follow us. We can use as many followers as we can. On Twitter, it's EAHS Elks. On Instagram, it's Elkhorn Athletics. And on YouTube, it's at EAHS. If you have any questions, please reach out. I hope everybody has a great winter season, and go Elks.